Started. What is up, Team Happy and Fit? If you could get out a notebook and a pen, turn on your video if you can. Super excited that you are here. I actually just walked right into the door right at 6 o'clock here, 8 o'clock your time if you're in the Central Standard Time Zone. I was just able to hang out with Laura Dorgarian, who is a part of our team, and I just think, like, you guys, we were just dog moms that met at a dog park in a little dog section of where we used to live in San Jose. And what is so crazy about that is we ran into each other there 2 years ago. And then at a dog park 10 minutes away from where we lived, we ran into each other again. And that is honestly how our friendship started, is our dogs at the dog park. And then we became Facebook friends, and then she started seeing my journey because I wasn't afraid to share it. I was not hiding behind anything. I was not hiding behind my products or anything like that. I was just being me and sharing my story. And the thing that captivated Laura to want to become a part of the team, which is the goal, right? It is so great to help people with products, but we are so much more than shakes and so much more than fitness. We are a community of people who want to encourage people to live fulfilling lives, right? And so she started asking me about these Zooms. She said, what is this? What are you guys talking about? I want to be a part of that. Tell me more. And I kept it simple. I think of Elise, who just helped someone with Shakeology. She kept it super simple. It's easy nutrients on the go, right? Shakeology is ingredients from the ground. I just kept it very simple with Laura. Laura, we meet up, we talk about mindset, we work through limiting beliefs, we encourage each other in life, in our roles. We don't talk about fitness on these calls, really. We don't talk about nutrition. We don't even really talk about beach body. But what we talk about is how to help people, how to make impact, how to grow income while being able to be ourselves. And there's a lot of freedom in being able to be ourselves. I'm so excited to have Caitlyn on tonight. The reason being is she's on her way to Diamond, and it's never the goal to get to a rank. It's the vision that rank can take you to. It's that vision that goal can take you to, right? She just decided to go for it. Last month, she helped 3 coaches on her team. And if there's anything you need to know, it's this. Every single one of her PS coaches is active. I think that says a lot for who she is as she's helping people. She's on her way to Diamond. It's never about Diamond. It's about what that can open up possibilities to. It's about the mindset to go for it. So those of you who are on this call that you're a coach, you're an emerald, whatever it is, you have to make the decision, draw the line in the sand and say, hey, I want more. I really do believe that this opportunity gives you more choices. You have the choices of who you work with. You have the choice, right? You have the choice of how you spend your time. And I really do believe that this opportunity can give you more choices to say yes to the things that you want to say yes to, and not because you feel burdened to. Does that make sense? And so Caitlyn just decides to go for it. She's been a coach for 2.5 years. She'll be a coach for 3 years in March. And it's clicking. It's clicking on how to simplify this. And what's really cool about Caitlyn is she's massively resourceful, that she doesn't need a sponsor coach to answer all her questions. She doesn't need me to answer all her questions. She just goes and finds the solution, right? But what's cool, though, is she likes being mentored. And what's really, really cool is she likes to step up. If there's anything I've noticed about Caitlyn from the first time I met her to now is the confidence that she's grown as a human and as an individual. And I would have to say, Caitlyn, that's probably one of the most freeing things, right? Being able to step into confidence. And so I just think about the question that you asked me a while ago is like, what if we wouldn't have said yes to this? And just thinking about that, like, Caitlyn, what if you wouldn't have said yes to this? Like, you're stepping out of your comfort zone more and more because of this opportunity, and you're gaining more confidence because of this opportunity. Like, what if you wouldn't have said yes to this? Like, what would life look like, right? And now I feel like life for you just has like limitless possibilities. And that is on your way to Diamond, to creating more possibilities in your life. It's not the end goal. It's not the goal that makes you. It's the vision on how to work through it. Because you guys, ladies, gentlemen, how to work through and not get stuck and frustrated in this is having a vision beyond right now. This vision of like, man, I'm frustrated, I'm stuck. When is this going to actually take off for me? How am I going to actually do this? Is that you're showing up for your future self. And I really do believe Caitlyn tonight choosing to step up and lead this call is her thinking of her future self with her team. Of if I want to lead a massive team and leave a legacy, I've got to step up now. I've got to step into these shoes of leadership because that's only going to help me in my future with my team. And I just applaud you, Caitlyn. Eric and I are so excited to have you be speaking with Happy and Fit tonight. I'm so pumped. So if you could give her all your attention, get out a notebook and pen, like we've got it going on over here. Shut everything else down because you're going to hear something that you will be spoken like life into. Caitlyn, at the bottom, it says share, and you should be able to share your screen right away. If some of you can turn on your screens, that would be amazing. Take it away, Caitlyn.
All right. Thank you, Julianne. I've been practicing this, so hopefully I can switch it real fast here. All right. Okay, so I have found that one of my biggest struggles in my coaching journey has been the fact that I have so many different interests. And I've really found it hard to decide who I want to work with and who I'm able to work with because I've felt like I could work with just about anyone. So it's been really a challenge to kind of find my niche and the lane that I want to go down. So I just wanted to share a bit about my coaching story, and then hopefully maybe something will jump out and speak to you about finding your voice in your own journey. So my story began back in 2016. I like to think that I was the perfect coach that said yes right away when Liz asked me. And for the longest time, I did, until I went back in my messages and when other coaches were not saying yes and joining me right away. It was really helpful to go back and see how I started. So it was 2016. I was a junior in college, and college was kind of rough for me. Freshman and sophomore year weren't too bad, but junior year hit, and my grandma had just passed away. My cousin, who she's like a sister to me, she was living in another country, and a lot of my high school relationships were starting to fall apart. Just we were going our separate ways, and so I was really lacking community. I was living alone, and I was not moving my body like I used to. I had always been an athlete, so it wasn't like I was used to not moving my body, and I was not eating like I should. The WLC cafeteria did not really provide healthy options for that, and my grades were not where they should have been. I was a straight A student all the way through high school. I never had really struggled with my grades. So when college started to get hard, that's when I really started questioning whether or not chemistry was the route that I wanted to still go. I had a lot of interest in starting my own business, but I also hated public speaking. So I thought if I put myself in a lab, I wouldn't have to talk to anyone. So 2016, and Liz we started talking on Facebook. She was doing a running challenge group. It was free, so I wanted to check it out. And so I asked her, I'll do it, but I only do so much running. And looking back, I find that super funny now because I ended up through this journey completing a half marathon. So looking back at that 1 mile that she was asking us to do a day, doesn't look so bad now. She'd asked me to do the coaching thing. She asked me to do the shakes, and my response was, I can't afford that. I'm a broke college student. She sent me the shake sample link, and I never ended up buying that. But we continued to grow our relationship and our friendship, and that was really nice. She'd check in, see how things were going, and we began to work out together at her apartment a few times. That summer between junior and senior year, I ended up purchasing an Insanity Max challenge pack, back with the DVDs, and I made sure that I canceled right away so I wouldn't be charged for that second month. I also ended up purchasing Country Heat Challenge Pack because I wanted to work out where it didn't actually feel like I was working out. But that's super funny now too because Shaun T's my jam. So then I canceled that one too, and we just continued to build a relationship. We connected more. She started sharing more of her journey, which led me to listening to her podcast. That's where I heard more of Julianne's story, and I really started to question more what this was all about. So I jumped into a coach sneak peek, and this was almost a whole year after then when we first started talking. And she asked me what my thoughts were, and as you can see, I responded with, I see myself as part of the community, but I don't know how much of an outreach I would do since it's just not my personality, if that makes sense. So a few days later, I ended up signing up as a discount coach. And I joined for the community because I really was craving those deeper connections at the time. And I wanted to feel more confident in my body and in who I was. I saw the trips and the free t-shirts and all the fun things, extra money that people were getting. And I saw it as a possibility of more. But at the time, I was like securing in a job after graduation in my chemistry field. So I was happy with that for the time being. As I began my coaching journey, I did the whole challenge group thing. I had people check out the free ones. I posted on social media. I sent out some invites here and there, and I picked my team name pretty early on. But I still wasn't too concerned about making coaching a huge priority. But then my job started to change. It was my internship that turned into a full-time job, and I just was not as busy at work. It was becoming really mundane, doing the same stuff over and over and over, and really just not getting any fulfillment out of it. I was also getting discouraged with coaching and that like it wasn't proceeding like I wanted it to. I definitely thought it was going to be a lot easier when I started. But then I started to realize that if I kind of sort of tried, I kind of sort of would get results. So towards the end of 2018, I decided to give it more of a go, get more committed. I was really enjoying the fitness aspect of everything. I ended up actually becoming a personal trainer, and just really wanted to educate myself and enjoyed learning more, so that I could help future clients as my team grew. So then 2019 rolls around, and I finally became an Emerald coach. I was super excited that my hard work actually was starting to pay off. And I had my wonderful coach, Caitlyn, and another coach who ended up quitting. And that really stung because I thought I was finally getting somewhere, and then I was back at square one. I definitely took a lot of the no's personally, and especially when people were quitting on me, that definitely made me question if I should still continue on. But I realized that I was not happy where I was. Even though I was not where I used to be, I didn't want to stay where I was. I wanted to figure out how I could gain more fulfillment. I wanted to make more of an income. I wanted to still stay healthy. I wanted to gain more freedom in my life, and definitely wanted to make an impact. And while I was searching for other jobs and searching for a different career change, I realized that coaching had everything that I wanted, and everything just kept leading back to coaching. So as my plan, or as I was really not wanting to stay comfortable anymore, I was through with sucking it up the 8 hours and coming home to just let work go and not actually work towards something that I was proud of. I was realizing I was giving myself way too much grace. So say I would invite 5 people one day and skip the next 2 days, I would say, that's okay, I invited 5 people this week, even though that wasn't going to be what was going to move my business forward. I would really get discouraged because I wanted to sit down to work as a coach or work my coaching business, and I guess I expected to be 5-star diamond by the time I got up or something, because I just wanted to see immediate results, and I was very impatient with not working. So over time, my plan A of just getting more confident, getting back into shape, having a community, it's not my plan B, but my plan A and plan B are now together. I really love sharing what I learn through fitness, through personal development, professional development. A lot of the stuff that I never thought I would enjoy, I've really gained a lot of fulfillment out of. But I still had a ton of interests, and I still wasn't able to speak to the right people that I wanted to work with. I felt like I was always saying the same thing, like almost copying. So my story just was not coming out clear, I guess. I kept feeling really held back by a lot of my limiting beliefs that I needed to get over in order to move my business along. So starting out, I really struggled with the no's, like I said. I struggled with the fact that no one was liking me because no one was joining me. So I really had to get over the fact that it wasn't me. It was either they're not ready to work on themselves, they already have something that's working for them, so I didn't need to like push anything on them. I don't need to chase anyone. Like, I am doing what is working for me, and I should be proud to just share that. I also struggled with the fact that it had taken me so long to get to where I was at Emerald, and why did I think I was going to start succeeding now? When I was getting more into my story, I really just felt like in order to be different, I had to change it up, which I think led to me confusing my audience in the fact that they didn't know what I was going to talk about next because I had so many different topics going on. I needed to realize that, well, I was sharing my story. It was my story. So if I said it a little bit differently one day, but said it the same way the next day, that's okay, because not everyone was going to see my stuff every single day. And people need to see things more than once in order to have it click, because even myself, I need to hear things multiple times until it clicks. And then my biggest one was that I don't have the personality for it. You're shy, you're reserved, you're not a leader because you haven't really had to lead anything your whole life. You kind of just would always take the easy way out, just stuff that you were comfortable with. But after a while, I learned that what I was comfortable with was not giving me fulfillment, and the stuff that made me a little bit more uncomfortable, that's where I was really thriving. I would always question myself and whether or not this should be the route for me, if this was what God's purpose was for me, and really trying to dive into where God wanted to use me. I would question if my goals were too big or too small. And then if my intentions were good. Like, I obviously want to help people, but at the same time, am I just doing it to gain my fulfillment or to make my income greater? I just didn't really know the best way to do what I wanted, but yet help people, because it always felt selfish in my mind. But I'm slowly starting to realize that as you help people, you're going to get helped in the process, and that's okay. Sorry, my computer's a little slow. So in trying to figure out who I wanted to work with, I have been doing a lot of different research, personal development, professional development. And then this one woman that I've been following for forever, I don't know if many of you know her, but Jordan Lee Dooley has an amazing Instagram following, and she basically puts all my thoughts into words and is everything that I would like to be. But she opened up a life coaching session called the Own It Academy. And I decided to invest in that and really try and find my lane and who I wanted to speak to the most, because even though I feel like I can speak to everyone, I really needed to narrow it down and pick a lane. So I've been doing a lot of her Instagram trainings as well, and she is very knowledgeable about that. Even though my Instagram following is still not large, I've actually been able to double it since January. So her stuff works, and it's been nice to start applying what I've been learning. And I mean, I still have a long ways to go, but I just thought I would share a little bit of what she's been walking us through. First, I decided to pick what interests I wanted to focus on the most. So what she did was have us identify what accomplishments we have had in our life, and then what skills we use to get us to those accomplishments. And when I first started filling out the worksheet, I realized that I was listing a lot of the scholastic accomplishments that I had done. And like I said, I didn't really have any joy or like fulfillment out of that. Well, like, I was proud of them, I realized that the ones that were pushing me out of my comfort zone, like becoming a personal trainer, teaching fitness classes with Carrie, leading this call, stuff like that, that really pushed me out of my comfort zone, that's what really brought me enjoyment. So I had to think about skills I had to use in those situations. And then I had to pick out if there was any repeated skills, what my top skills were, and what I enjoyed the most. And from that, I was able to turn those skills into goals. So I know we're told all the time to write down our goals, write down our why, and make it detailed enough so that we see it in front of us, so that we know what we're working towards. And I realized that a lot of my skills had to do with different life transitions. So while I struggled going from junior to senior year of college, or senior year to the real world, as they say, or going from girlfriend to fiance to married, I help other people go through those transitions as well, and maybe avoid some of the mistakes that I had made or the hardships that I had struggled with. I also realized that I really am good with time organization and planning. I could help people find not missing, but like time in their day that they were not using as productively as possible. And then I also realized that I should just embrace the multi-passionates and use all of the interests that I do have to help other people in whatever way possible. So after we went through the worksheet, we were supposed to use those like interests that we nailed down and needle in our businesses or just in our lives in 90 days. She liked the idea of breaking the year down into 90-day increments instead of just seeing what you can do in 1 year, because it's easier to take the micro goals instead of just one big macro goal. So I decided to first look at my Instagram, and she kind of helped us walk through that with a little Instagram audit. So first I started with my bio, and I can share a podcast that she has in the Coach Collaborative, but it was really helpful in, even though it still might be, the bio might be a little vague, it's definitely a lot better than I had. She really encouraged, and everyone can do their own thing, but she really encouraged to not necessarily have the bulleted points about you, but rather what's your goal in what you're trying to do with your account. And then within your account, that's where your bulleted points of your interests come out more. So I ended up switching my bio to helping others stay accountable to their goals by bridging the gap between just living and living their full potential for God. And then I have Conquer Your Life with my little URL link. So as I was going through my Instagram, I noticed that I definitely could do a better job of sharing more life per se. I have various stories scattered in there and motivation. I could do a lot better of like serving or sharing more, because I just have one in there with tips. And then I have some invites scattered in as well. And this was just, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago now, where I just screenshotted that. So I'm still working on applying all of the things that I've been learning through her training. But I did realize that through the interests, you could take it a step farther. And she had us take those interests and identify our core beliefs. And so, for instance, mine are going to be faith, health, and like a core belief of improving confidence. So then within our core beliefs, she had us list our interests under each one of those. And then we had to think about what our driving force was right now, whether it was money or impact, recognition, service, family, health, fulfillment. And then by figuring out what our driving force was, we could take which core belief we wanted to tackle first, because sometimes we try and just do everything all at once, and it kind of leaves us stretched too thin, and we're not able to tackle anything. She gave a really good analogy of, if we have 10 medicine balls lined up on a 100 on the end goal of a football field, and you pick up one and you only carry it 10 yards and drop it, and you go back, you pick up another one, only carry this one 20 yards, drop it, and none of them actually make it to the finish line or to the other end goal, then you're just doing a bunch of little things here and there. Instead, she was like, take one medicine ball, carry it all the way to the other end zone, come back, get the next one, and go. I'm really good at starting up a lot of different things and not finishing them, because I have so many different ideas. So I'm really trying to focus on just getting one done, moving on to the next, get that done, then move on to the next one. And in order to help that, she said that if you come up with an idea, or if you come up with like roadblock or choice in your life, look at what your driving force is, and then look at your core beliefs and see if it will matter in 10 minutes, 10 months, or 10 years. And that will help you gain a little bit more clarity on if you should pursue it or not. So right now I am trying to narrow down and focus on the audience for me that I want to work with. And I really want to help others gain confidence and help them to become more internally motivated within themselves and be able to share that confidence a lot easier and get there a lot quicker than I have been able to, and also gain some more time back into their lives, because I've realized that a lot of the reasons why people have said no to me is they just don't have the time, they don't have the money, or they just don't have the belief that they can actually do it, which I feel like a lot of us get those. But I had to take those and put my spin on it so that my story will come through when I can connect with them better. So just the top few things that's been working for me is definitely the consistency. I have gotten a lot better at tracking what I do daily so that I keep up with my follow-ups, my invites, and I make sure that I get done with the vitals each day. And it's not well, I did 5 invites today, I'm good for the rest of the week. It definitely takes showing up and being present in your business when it's time to work your business, and then in your life when it's time to be in your life. I've done a lot of personal development this year. I listen to a podcast every day on the way to work, every day on the way home from work. I've read 13 books so far this year, and I'm hoping to get a few more done. Personal development has been huge for me. I really enjoy sharing what I learn and giving recommendations to anyone, especially now with this Jordan Lee Dooley coaching session. I've really enjoyed sharing with others already what I've learned, and the community that she has behind that has been really cool. She is only 25 herself, and she's from a small town in Indiana. So if you don't know who she is, go follow her on Instagram. And I've definitely done better time management. So as I said before, my job right now isn't exactly fulfilling. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend this to everyone, but right now I've been able to listen to a lot of coaching calls while I'm at my desk and working on other things. So I'll have that on in the background. I get some invites in here and there at work, and check in with challengers, coaches, and I sometimes will even be able to get in some podcasts as well. And then finally, I really let go of the no. I have really struggled with this one, and personal development has helped a lot. But if someone says no, I force myself to ask another person, to not sit there and dwell on it, to go for the next one, because there's so many other people out there that you don't have to worry about that one person that said no. Anymore, I found myself almost struggling more so with like feeling sad that they don't want to improve themselves, which even that can get a little bad to sit on that sometimes. But I'd rather focus on that than taking it personally, because it just motivates me to go help more and more people. So yeah, I think that's about all I have. I can take questions if anyone has questions.
Caitlyn, that's so good. Oh my gosh, I took so many notes, but I know Liz is on. Liz, do you have anything that you want to chime in? Real fast, Caitlin, can you unshare your screen so we can see everyone? You just hit unshare.
Yes.
I think I can stop it. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Liz,
yes. Okay.
are you on?
I am. Can you hear me? I am okay, great. I'm just pulling in for the night. I got on a little late and I was driving and listening the whole time, and I was able to just turn on my video. But Caitlyn, I wish that you guys could all have met Caitlyn just a couple years ago. And I just remember just having so many conversations, so many no's from Caitlyn, just not the right time. She was such an introvert. We had a couple workouts together, and I'm like, I see it in this girl, but I don't know. I didn't know if she would say yes. And then we had a couple conversations over coffee, even after she became a coach, and she was just so unsure. And I remind her of how far she's come so often, just her confidence in being able to lead this call. Caitlyn, I'm so proud of you and how far you've come. And I just think that she's a testament to so many people on this journey of just what this community does and how it can transform and how people can really be worked on from the inside out. It's not just about, transformations physically, but how your confidence can grow and your belief in yourself and what you're doing. And Caitlyn, when I think of all the people on this journey with me, I think of Caitlyn often. And it's huge. It's a huge deal. And I just think that just don't forget people and always follow up with people and come back to even the people who may not see it in themselves. You just really have to believe in people before they believe in themselves, and gentle nudges can go a long way. So Caitlyn, way to go. Way to share your heart tonight. I am just so full of joy for you on your journey, and just your confidence in leading this call is amazing. So way to go, girl.
Liz, so good. And if you all don't know the story with Liz and I, Liz told me no for a long time as well. And we met for coffee. We did workouts pretty much the same way Caitlyn got started. And I just noticed that Caitlyn, it took her a year. It was a year of no's, and Liz did not give up on her. But also Liz did not just stop everything for her. Do you see the difference in that? Liz kept going, but then kept planting seeds and building a relationship with Caitlyn, which I think is powerful. A couple things to recap before we ask some questions. Liz, loved every second of that, and I just am so proud of you and Caitlyn. And I love that you two are partnered in life and a sisterhood on this. I love that Cody is on. That's another thing that we had some live Milwaukee events, and Cody and Caitlyn were able to meet up, and they've become such good friends through this journey. And I just think what Caitlyn said is she joined for the community. And a lot of times we forget to talk about that. We talk so much about the fitness and talk so much about the nutrition that we forget about what is our best offer. Our best offer is this. And I'm telling you, this is not Beachbody. We endorse Beachbody products because they work. Our Beachbody On Demand is the most flexible workout tool there is, meaning you can do that on vacation. You can do that as a new mom, right? Like you can do it that pregnant and working and having crazy schedules and all those things. Like it is the best tool, in my opinion, for working out while busy or needing to lose 100 pounds, needing to gain weight, whatever it is. It is the best tool out there. I believe in it, and I love that we have that. Shakeology is incredible for the nutrients, right? Maybe you're like, I don't see the big deal in it, but when you actually research what these ingredients do for your body, you start to get obsessed with it. But I think so many times we're talking so much about the fitness and so much about the nutrients that we forget the best thing we could give people, and that's this. And that's what Caitlyn joined for, and what's so awesome, because she was hesitant about the shakes. Did you hear her say that? She was hesitant about that. And I think it's really funny, Caitlyn, that you got Insanity Max 30 and then Country Heat. You could not get way farther from any program than those two. Awesome. And I love that you're like, I want a program that's not like a workout. That just made me laugh. But I just think if you joined, I joined for the community. How many of you joined for the community? Let's just be real. I used to Pinterest workouts. Anyone else? That's a mess. That is just a big mess. of like, that's not actually doing anything. We think it is because we're cheap, right? Let's say frugal, that's a better word. But like, this stuff works, but we hide behind it. You do not work for Beachbody. You're partnered with them. You work for your freaking self. And I think once you realize that, the more you'll live into that. You do not work for Beachbody. Proof? They don't make you do anything. You're not fired. You're not like promoted. You're not anything unless you decide to do it yourself. And the coolest part about that is you call the shots. You decide, right? A lot of people who host team calls, it's just straight up training. I feel like when we host calls, it's stories of what we've learned, right? And no one told me that we had to do that. I decided, right? You work for yourself. And once you realize that, that gives you freedom to live into yourself. And I just love, so Caitlyn joined for the community. That is my best offer. That is what I talk about most. I think that these fitness tools work. I think that our nutrition is incredible. I am so thankful to partner with the best company I think that there is. I really do. I really love it, but I also love this. I love this more than the workouts we have, and I love the workouts, so that's saying a lot. Caitlyn said, introvert rocking self-care. How many of you are introverted or know introverts that don't have confidence? Right? That aren't rocking their self-care. She didn't think that she was qualified to do this because she's an introvert. In fact, I think she just freaking qualified herself. I think that this is the best thing for introverts. I'm an outgoing introvert. I get filled up being alone. And so I love that I can be in my space, my creative space from home on my computer, connecting with a kick-ass community. But for those of you who were in Philadelphia, I had to remove myself sometimes to get recharged. Like there was a moment from, we had the pictures in that atrium thing that I went and hid behind a booth. And then it was so awesome because then like some Happy and Fit people started coming and we kind of just had our own little party back there. And that filled up my cup because I just didn't want to be around everyone else. I just needed that moment, right, to get recharged. So I love that you're an introvert rocking self-confidence. Like if you guys are introverts, talk so much about how this is perfect for the introvert. Why? Because you get to do it from home. Like you get to do it from your computer. That's amazing. I loved that so much. I really loved when you shared that you felt so discouraged. I think a lot of people don't share that part of their story. I think that's great for social media even. I think, did any of you guys see Nikki Touch's post that was crazy? It got so much attention and it was #brokenboobs. Did you guys read that? Can I tell the story, Nikki, behind that? So I was talking to Nikki and Nikki told me that. And I said, hey, Nikki, have you ever talked about that? And she's like, no, I don't want to get opinions from people. I'm like, how about you share you don't want to get opinions from people as you post it? And she was like, oh, okay. And she made a post and I was like, you're going to speak to someone when you make that post. And it freaking blew up. It's not my words. It was all her. She had the bravery to do it and she did. And she leaned on me for the confidence for that, but it was all her. And it's just like, when you share that stuff, that's what connects you. So for those of you who have struggled in this, I also heard Caitlyn say that she wasn't patient enough. This is a delay result business. I'm in this for the long haul. I did not put quitting as an option. That was not like in the cards for me when I signed up to do this. Quitting was not an option because I saw this beyond a program. I saw this beyond a year. I saw this beyond 3 years. I saw it beyond a negative paycheck. I saw it beyond the highest paycheck. It was never about that because of impact, because of calling. Did you hear Caitlyn? She went to school for all this stuff and is lacking fulfillment in her other job. And my thought to that was, what is bringing her fulfillment in this? I think it's she gets to be her true self. I really, like, I'm talking for you, Caitlyn, but like, that's just what it sounds like, is that you get to be your true self with having your own business by connecting with people as your introverted, self-loving self. Like you get to be fully you and there's fulfillment in that. I don't think that should have a deadline. I don't think that should have an end date. And a lot of times people just look at this as a credit card charge or let me see how successful I can be in a certain amount of time. I think the one quality, and Caitlyn, I would say you have this now, if you want to be a quote unquote successful coach, which that can look so different for so many people. That's not a paycheck. That's not a weight loss. That's in whatever you carve out success to be for yourself. Does that make sense? It's not rank. It's whatever you want it to be. And having that qualifying yourself to do that, the best quality in that, besides being resourceful in my heart, is patience. And she said she was lacking patience and she was getting discouraged. I shouldn't do this. I'm an introvert, right? Who am I to do something like this? But instead, she's having patience and trusting this process. You guys, she kicked ass last month. Kicked ass. It was so awesome. I'm so proud of you for that. And I loved when you said when you sort of kind of try, you sort of kind of get results. So you could have totally blamed Beachbody for the lack of patience, but instead you took responsibility. And you were like, I was doing 5 invites a week. That's fine. If any of you want to do 5 invites a week, that's fine. But she said that wouldn't move my business to where I wanted it to go. So taking that responsibility allowed her to level up, right? And the seriousness you took, Caitlyn, of taking that course, you just like gave us a free lesson from a course that you've invested in. Did anyone take that? Like she legitimately gave us like what she's investing in financially and gave us like some killer content and eye-opening skills. That's amazing. Like, thank you for bringing that to us. That is like an epitome of a leader. When you're like, oh, I'm not a leader like before. And now you're like, oh, I am. I'm like, that is a leader. A leader is not a rank. It's a decision. It's a decision to go invest in a training that you needed help with. It's to do personal development whenever you can, to connect with Cody, to go do all these things, become a personal trainer. Like you stepping out of your comfort zone is that. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I love that you merged your plan A and plan B. I love that it was plan A for like self-care and all those things, and then plan B for finances. And you're like, I'm going to merge that. I'm going to make that my plan A. That was awesome. I love that. In order to be different, you've got to change it up. People need this more to see things more than once. How many of us put one thing out there hoping everyone in the world will see it, and then you're like, nope, I need to share my story on repeat. Trina Gray will say that about me. She said, Julianne, you share your journey over and over and over and over. You share your transformation, you share your story, like you are so consistent with it. And I'm like, absolutely, because people are watching and I like sharing it, right? I like sharing my journey. Each goal, I love that you wrote that in the comments, Kelly. Each goal you will set give you the outcome you want or the lesson you need. 70% of people do not set goals. Goals are your roadmap. Goals are not the end destination. Goals like your goal of diamond, goal of emerald, goal of 1-star, goal of 2-star, that is not the finale. A lot of people turn that into the finale and then are massively defeated when they hit it. Diamond is not the goal, like the end goal. It's the roadmap to where you're going. And in order to have that roadmap to get to wherever you're going, those goals matter, but they're not everything. Goals don't lead to fulfillment, but they help you get there. It's having that goal in life of like, I'm going to wake up today and do something for self-care. That's a goal. I'm going to floss every day. Still failing at that. Nikki, Caitlyn, Jill, don't yell at me. I'm working on it. Like, you know what I mean? Where it's just like setting these goals in life. I love that. Will it matter 10 minutes from now, 10 months from now, or 10 years from now? Do that. If it's like where it's like in 10 minutes, like, okay, like I would rather do something that's 10 years from now, right? And that's always how I've thought for myself. I wanted to just like bring that and letting go of the no. Who loved that today? Let go of the no, because the reason they're not joining, it's not because of you, it's because of them. And that is exactly how I see a no. Did you hear Liz? Liz is like kept following up with Caitlyn because she decided to let go of that no and make it a not yet. One day she will join me. And then did you hear all of the exposures? Caitlyn had to meet with her with coffee, had to work out with her, had to join a sneak peek. She listened to Liz's podcast, right? I remember doing that podcast, by the way. That was a long time ago. I totally remember doing that. Anyway, I wanted to recap that. look at this. Like, you helped me grow tonight, and I'm very grateful for that. And I'm so grateful that you're like, Julianne, I have something to say, and I want to say it. And I like applaud you with that. Okay, let's ask some questions. We have 8 minutes of questions. Oh, Liz, I love that. Danielle, oh my gosh, I hope that all of you, or Caitlyn, that you're reading these comments, because they're so encouraging, and I'm so obsessed with what everyone is saying. Eric said, I loved it when you said you were comfortable. Can you expand on that? Yes, please clarify.
Can I clarify the comment? My huge fingers, I'm like trying to type it on my phone. So no, Caitlyn, what spoke to me was when you said when you were comfortable, or when you were just getting comfortable with something, it wasn't giving you fulfillment. I feel like I've been in that same space before, and that like every single day with this business, there's always something that's uncomfortable that might come up. But with each of those moments, it just grows you more and more. And I love that you chose coaching, and I love you that you're on this team, and I love what you shared tonight, because I think that was really powerful to hear, especially for me, and just like, hey, I'm not alone, and feeling a little bit uncomfortable each and every single day, but I'm getting better. So I just appreciate you, and thank you so much for leading this call.
Thank you.
Can we also just stop and highlight the fact that Caitlyn's entire downline is active also? So her leadership is also just solid. Like, her whole downline being active just shows that she's no longer on this like rocky soil of a business, but she has a solid foundation of a business, and it's pretty remarkable.
I saw that. That's so awesome. And can we notice that Laura is on an airplane right now, like probably ready to take off? Hey, Jason, I hope you guys had a good happy hour. Enjoy. The guy next to you, I don't think you know him. Oh, you do? Those work friend. Got it. Okay, got it. But that's pretty awesome that you're like boarding and you're on this call. That just reminds me of like, that's all what I would do. Okay, what other questions do we have? What personal development impacted you the most to decide to go for it? I love that you're asking that, Beth, because Caitlyn had been a coach for a while. And then in 2019, she decided, did you guys hear she went Emerald, then someone quit and she got defeated? That was this year. And then now she's so close to Diamond. I'm excited to hear.
So I definitely always thought that it would be one type of book or podcast or something that would just click. But I really think it's just been a culmination of all of them, because when what's his name? Furtick.
Steven.
Yes. Yes, thank you. Listening to him, and then Julianne, you had someone else on Team Happy&Fit's call, and I keep listening to his podcast, but I'm losing his name too.
Rob Dial. Brad Bizjack.
No. Yes, Bizjack. And then obviously Jordan Lee Dooley. So I listened to all their podcasts, and then The Slight Edge has been huge, and I'm not even done with that yet. And then Own Your Everyday by Jordan Lee Dooley, and Rachel Hollis obviously has been huge as well. So I just think it's a majority of the personal development that I have read. It's not just like one thing that clicked for me.
I would agree with that. I think that it's a repetition of impactful thoughts that help your thoughts. The way you think about things is everything. The way you think about things is how you do everything. And I just think that process is everything. I think just like what you fuel your body with is everything, and especially your mind, because your mind is what helps you decide to go for it. I just have to say, I want all of you to win so bad. Like, I want you all to have the choices you want in life, and whatever, if that looks like an extra massage, like one massage a month, to I just want to feel more confident in my skin, to I just want a solid friendship in life. Like, whatever it is that you're craving in life, I believe that you can have it. And I just think that this team and this community is everything. I had someone say, I don't know if they're going to watch this recording or not, she wants to join Team Happy&Fit again. And I need you to say, or I need to tell you what she said. She said, hey, I would love to join Team Happy and Fit again, but I need to ask you a question. Is it actually positive again? Because the last time I did it, it was really negative. Something along those lines. Are some of you being like, are you guys like this? Like, what? There was one comment years ago that was made on Team Happy and Fit that wasn't as positive. Does that make the whole tribe negative? One person posting one thing, does that make everything negative? I think it's what you focus on, right? Do you want to know what I said to her? I said, Happy and Fit is not a checklist team. It's not a checklist team. It's not this perfect thing that you can like, oh, as long as it fills all my needs, then I can do it. I almost wanted to say, I don't think this is the right fit for you, right? But maybe she's the one who needs a lot of transformation right now. Maybe, I don't know. And I also said, you've got to understand something. Everyone who's joining this crew is starting from a different place, but I see hope for them. I see hope for everybody who joins our tribe because it's going somewhere. So there are people joining our tribe that they've never even worked on mindset in their life. So yes, they might say something a little bit more negative, but we're going to optimism. We're going to living more fit in every area of life, and we're all trying to transform, and not just our bodies. It's not a checklist team. It's not a checklist community. It is not perfect. I took a long time to think about that because I was like, you cannot completely remove everything. So personal development, Caitlyn, I'm assuming you still have doubt sometimes. I'm assuming you have some insecurity sometimes. I'm assuming you still get afraid of no's or frustrated with no's, or your heart crushes when someone cancels. You guys, that doesn't change. But when you add personal development into your life, you recognize it faster. You have tips and tools to work through it instead of suppress it and hide from it or just like stop. Like you move through it. And I just feel like that's the tools that we've gotten with this community, is that we're going somewhere. So if we had been negative, we're working on being more positive, because I said, you don't know the story of the person who posted that to this person. You don't know what was going on in that person's life to post that. But the fact that they decided to say yes to this, they're choosing to work through it, right? Isn't that so massively powerful? I am really proud of you. Kim is going to share something real fast. After this, I want you all to just go take one takeaway under this picture that we take for Caitlyn, okay? I am going to hit end record and Kim is going to take over real fast, and then we're going to get on our way.